Hi guys and welcome back to our channel. Today we will be analyzing two indexes, the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index and the Sp500. Please subscribe to our channel if you want us to keep releasing technical analysis and trading signals for free. As you can see here, after the low that we have experienced, that we have hit over March 20, to be precise on the 23rd of March, we have experienced a huge run-up. In terms of percentage point, we're talking about the 50% increase over the last 5 months. Now, the question is, can we grow even more, even further over the next days, or we should be expecting a reversal? As you can see here I've plotted the RSI, so the Relative Strength Index, and the multi-time frame stochastics. Again, this one is a daily chart. As you know, I do prefer analyzing an asset using the weekly chart. Yet I want to give a chance, I want to analyze before the daily chart, and then we can switch and understand what the weekly chart can tell us. Okay, so from 18,000 points, we run up till 28,000 points. In terms of RSI, we are now entering the overbought area. Now, let's not be confused. The point is that how I have been writing with my best-selling book, Forex, the Holy Grail, when an asset moves in a trend, if the indicator, in this case, the RSI, moves in the overbought area, we should be expecting the asset moving higher rather than retracing. The reason is because, as I mean, with our financial trading academy, we're being the first in the world to distinguish between two scenarios. Okay, before us, the RSI. Once the RSI was in overbought area, the classic technical analysis was telling us that we should be expecting a reversal. While with my analysis and with my financial trading academy, we have established that we should distinguish between two scenarios. So the asset moves in a range or moves in a trend. So if the asset moves in a trend, once the RSI moves in the overbought area, we should be expecting the asset moving higher. While if the asset is moving in a range over the last months or last days or last weeks, it depends from what time frame we are analyzing, then we should be expecting a reversal once the RSI moves in the overbought area. So now, in terms of Dow Jones Industrial Average Index, we know that the index is moving in a trend. So once here the RSI moves the overbought area, we still believe that there is still possibility to move even higher, maybe to this area, so 29,000 points. Now, if we analyze the multi-time frame stochastic, we see that the green curve has crossed below the red one, yet they are still in overbought area and they have not crossed below the overbought threshold, okay? Which means we're still in strength, so the index is still strong. Now let's move on and let's analyze the weekly chart. Let's see if we can retrieve some more ideas. As you can see here, in this case, the stochastic multi-time frame, the green curve has crossed above the red one and is moving now in the overbought area, which means we still have a chance to reach this area, okay, around 29,000 points. As well, the RSI is still moving, actually is now quoting 60, which means it's a strong threshold, okay? So we should be expecting a movement higher. So in terms of daily and weekly chart, right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average seems to have room for a bigger growth. Okay, now let's move on and let's analyze the Sp500. The Sp500 is a different chart. As you can see here, the Sp500 is now moving inside an ascending triangle. Here I'm using another indicator, and as well, but here is completely different, okay, because here we are detecting a bearish divergence. So if we analyze the RSI, what we experienced here is an increase in terms of point, okay, while the RSI is moving down, is moving lower if compared with this point of high around 74 points. Okay, so now if we this is the daily chart, okay, but from the daily chart what we see here is that the Sp500 has still room for growth, yet seems to have less room for a growth if compared with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, so the Dow 30. Okay, so between the two right now, even if the Dow Jones 30 has a lower relative strength, has a more potential to grow rather than the Sp500. In other terms, what I'm trying to suggest is that the Sp500 is now at the end of this movement up. Is really at the end. Now, if we analyze the cycle, I've been detecting a 5 month cycle, okay, which means, as you know, the cycles cannot be perfectly symmetrical to each other. Okay, so we should, let's say, it's always difficult to time the market. So let's say that, as you can see here, we have a 4 month chart, 4 month cycle, while here we have a 5 month cycle, and now it seems we are in another cycle which seems to be longer, because as every cycle is created by, is detected, is formed by an upper move, an upper phase of the Gauss curve and a descending phase of the Gauss curve. So for the daily chart, we are inside an uptrend and ascending triangle, but we are still waiting for the descending phase. So we are still waiting for the descending Gauss curve. Okay, now let's move on. Let's switch to the weekly chart. Okay, again, in terms of relative strength, it's clear that the Dow Jones Industrial has a relative strength lower than the SP500. Yes, I do believe the SP500 is really at the end, close to the end of its movement up. Okay, now let's see what we can see here from the weekly chart. The weekly chart is telling us that actually, while in the daily chart we experience it, we have detected a bearish divergence, we don't see this bearish divergence over the weekly chart. So now it will be really interesting to know if the SP500 will have the strength to overcome this area in order to hit the all-time high, like it happened with now it is happening right now with the Nasdaq. Okay. Again, what I expect right now is that we still can move up. Okay, so there is still chance for the SP500 to move up. Yet I do believe, I really do believe, we are actually we are too vertical. Okay, so while we know from the gun that we should be actually every asset tend to move over a 45 degrees. Here we are definitely above 45 degrees. Okay, so, and as you can see here, we need just one long black candle breaking below this ascending oblique support. Thank you, guys.